I'm Denise Johnson, and today I'm going to share with you my G45 2013 design team project. And what I've created is a garden set that was inspired by the French Country collection, which I just absolutely love. What I've created is a garden tote full of garden accessories, and then a portfolio-style garden journal to go along with it and kind of complete the set. And what I'd like to do to start is kind of walk through the accessory pieces and give you a good close-up of each element that I've created here. And then what we'll do is a tutorial on how to make these great seed storage boxes. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay, let's take a look at all the different elements that we have in our garden set. We'll get a good close-up of all of the pieces we have in here. So to start with, we did these great clay pots. I just painted them with a good chalk paint and then sanded those down and gave them a really good vintage look. And then I was able to add the French Country labels here and right on here. We did a nice little border with the word strip on there. So they just have a really great vintagey kind of country French feel to them. So added a couple of pots there. We created a little jute, a little twine jar. You can store your twine. So we added a roll of twine in there. Punched a hole through the lid. Screw that back on. And then you can pull your twine through the top. Keeps it in there, keeps it nice and organized, and it's not getting all tangled up with all your other garden tools and supplies. And then we decorated the jar with the French Country labels and put a little sticker on the lid there. And you have a great little twine holder. And then I created a jar of tags. So very simple, pre-strung, ready to go tags. I like to be able to label things when I'm working in the garden, and I thought it would just be handy just to have a complete set of done tags, just grab and go. So there's a great little set of tags. And then we have another pot that's decorated, and this is just one of those little inexpensive peat pots, but I did some chalk paint on it and then added one of the French Country labels to it and decorated that up all nice. And then I created a set of garden stakes, so labels for your garden bed, and these are all double-sided and they're laminated so that they'll be protected from the elements, and you can also use a dry erase marker and you can write what you've got on. Either you can use them as pot labels or in the garden, so you can write the date and what's in there, and then use those as labels. And then when you want to change it, this will just wipe right off and you can reuse them. So we've got that great little set of garden stakes, plant identifiers. And then we also have storage boxes for our seeds. So we have two boxes here. This one's for our herb seeds, and then this one is for our flower seeds. And when we go on to our tutorial, we're going to make one for our vegetable seeds. So these are great little boxes. They just flip right open and you can store your seed packets in them. You can put your regular just store-bought seed packets fit right in there. And then we've also created some handmade seed packets using the French Country labels and some of the French Country paper. And these are just great little seed packets. So when you harvest your seeds at the end of the season, you'll have all these fantastic, fancy packets to store them in. And those just fit right in there. And I've stored all of the items, I lost my little birdie, all these items in this is just a vintage berry tote that I found at my local antique market. Any kind of a tote would work to carry all that around in. And then the last thing that we have is our portfolio garden journal. The cover is a collage of paper, stickers, flowers, all kinds of different elements. There's some metal pieces on here. A great little banner that we just hand cut with some scraps from the French Country line. And I'll go ahead and show you the inside here. We'll open up the straps. And this opens up. And on this side here we have just a cute little matchbox, little notepad right there. Write down your little garden notes. Then you've got a lot of room on all of your flaps for photos and journaling and whatnot. You've got some space here and space here. And again, there's more on the inside. You have a handy little pencil here. In this pocket, I sewed a pocket onto this piece so you can store things inside of here. These are just some of the cards braided together so you can slide those open, put photos in there, some journaling. And then here's a little mini garden journal for jotting down notes and whatnot in the garden. Store all of these back in the pocket. Close that up. Over here on this side, we have a cascading style element. So you can just flip through these. You've got tons and tons of space for journaling and adding photos. We used our stickers to create little handles so you can flip through your book easily. So you have tons and tons of real estate for photos, journaling. So that's our garden portfolio. And now what I'd like to do is our tutorial on our seed storage boxes. Okay, let's look at the supplies that we're going to need to craft our seed storage boxes and our seed packets. So to start with, you'll need some paper. And I have that all pre-cut to the proper size right here. And those are all listed right here for you. So the first one that you need is your box wrap. So that's this large piece right here, and that's the piece that gets wrapped around the body of your box. So there's that one there. Next you'll need two pieces that are cut to the same size, and these are the top and the inside pieces. So it's this covered piece on the top, that one right there, and then you'll need another one cut to that same size that goes on the inside to mask where we've attached the brads to the top of the box. So you need two of those, and then you'll need your front cover piece. So that's the decorative piece that you're going to attach right here. And for time's sake, I've added my metal book plate to the cover. I've already got that all ready to go. This is my vegetables label for my vegetable seed storage. So got that one all ready for you. So that's the paper portion. These are the pieces that we need there. The next thing that you'll need is the box. And today I'm using the I'm kind of repurposing or recycling these boxes that I have. These are from my Verismo Starbucks machine. The little coffee pods come in these boxes. So I have quite a few of them stacking up, and they're the perfect size to fit a seed packet inside of them. And again, if I can repurpose or recycle things, I like to be able to do that. So this is what I'm using today for our boxes. Next you'll need a handle, and I have this little vintage handle that I found, and I found a couple of brads that will fit right into the holes on the side here so that I can attach it to my box. Now G45 has some very beautiful knobs and handles in their Staples line, and my store didn't seem to have any of those, so this was my next best option, but those would be fantastic. Anyway, then you're going to need some just basic tools. And that's what's on this tray here. I have a really good, a really strong dry adhesive. You need a ruler, a pencil, a good pair of scissors, a paper piercer, your distress ink, and your blending tool. And today I'm using Vintage Photo. And then for the seed packets, what you'll need to do is create a template. This is a template that I made out of chipboard, and it's cut 3 5/8 by 5 1/8. And I created this template so as I'm making my seed packets, I have a nice consistent size that I know is going to fit inside my box, and I can just trace and go and have that all ready. So create yourself a template. Then as far as the paper goes for your seed packets, you can use whatever variety or collection that you have on hand. I have some great patterned papers, just a great selection of old and new, and a good mix of different things. if you're using your pattern paper, you want to cut that to 6 by 10. And then I used just a different selection of old, just vintage ephemera papers that I have. I have some dictionary sheets and some old sheet music, some old magazines that have some great advertising and things like that in them to use. I love how Graphic 45 designs intermix so well with my own personal collection of vintage papers and ephemera. They just kind of seamlessly blend together. You can see here I used the French country paper, and then I used a bunch of the French country labels and stickers on some of my own personal ephemera collections, and they match so well. Looks like it was meant to be. So go ahead and gather up some paper for that to make seed packets. You can make as many seed packets as you want to fit into your box. So those are the supplies that we need. Let's go ahead and get started crafting our seed storage boxes. Let's go ahead and get started. So again, the base of our box is our Verismo empty boxes, and what I've done for the top of this is I painted this with just a regular craft paint. I did this 2 different ways. So on this one I did the painting, which is the same that I did on the top of this box, and then on this box I did a border strip with paper. For time's sake, I did the painting technique on the one that we're going to do today. So I just pre-painted this, so it's going to be all covered. I kind of covered up the edges there. So we'll use that one out of the way. So let's go ahead and put our cover piece on, the main piece, which is this piece here that we have pre-cut. And what I'm going to do is wrap this around the box. And what I just kind of eyeball it to center it on the box and give it a good square. And this piece is going to go on from the back, so it might make it easier to kind of get the idea here for you. Wrap it from the back, and then we'll wrap it around the front of the box. And just what I do is just kind of work that fold, get a nice good crease. And then I know where my creases are going to be, so I'm going to get the box and just kind of set it out of the way for a second, and then I'm going to work get those really good, nice, crisp folds. So I'm just going to work these folds, nice clean cuts, make them nice and straight. You can use the edge of the paper just to make sure you're getting a nice straight fold. Nice, crisp, clean folds. And so I'm going to go ahead and just make sure that this is working. Folds are where they're supposed to be. And so the front of this, as you can see, it's not even, but it doesn't matter because this is just the wrap to cover up the rest of the box. And then once I get this in place, we'll use our cover piece to cover that up. So you're not going to see any of that unevenness. So don't worry about that if you didn't fold it perfectly even. Okay, so I know that's all right and scored and fold where it needs to be. I'm going to get rid of that for a second and apply my adhesive. I'm using my ETG, and I'm just going to go around the edges and get really nice and close to the edge. And go around each edge there, and then I just do a couple strips in the middle. I need to be fully covered on there. And then we'll apply this to the box. Easier said than done. I'm going to try and get that on here nice and straight. Okay, you can kind of place your hands inside there and give it a nice good pressure to get it pushed down there and covered nice. Go around each edge. And there we go. So we've got our wrap on there. And now we'll go ahead and place the decorative cover piece in place. If you want to use your distressing ink, you can apply this actually after you have it on here, or you can do it now. If you want to go around your edges, the edges of that cover piece, you can do that, get that all nice and blended in. Okay, so let's go back to our cover. Go ahead and apply our adhesive all the way around the edges. Adhere that into place. ATG adhesive is great because it just rubs right off if you get it where you don't really want it. Now we'll take our distress ink and just sort of blend those edges really well. Now the paint that I used to cover the edge of this is also the paint that I used on my metal plate, so I'm just going to blend that a little bit too, and you can also blend this piece that's painted. The pad is very dry, I need to add some more ink to that. Okay, so we've got that, and we've got that. Now we'll go ahead and place our top piece on here. So I already have this cut to size. This is just going to fit perfectly on the top of the center here. So I'll go ahead and adhere that. Okay, so that piece is in place. Again, you go ahead and use your blender. Okay, there we go. Now I want to add my handle. So what I'm going to do is take the handle and set it where I want it to be on here. And then I'm going to use my paper piercing tool and just jab that through there. Put that in there really good. Then I'm going to take my brads, place those through those holes we just created. Okay, and then you can open this up and set those brads. Just like that. And then we want to cover that up. So that was that second piece that we cut that was the same size as our top piece. And we can adhere that inside there just to cover up the hardware that we have happening, the ends of the hardware that we have inside there. Just place that right inside there. Voila. And there you go. Your seed packet storage box is complete. Okay, let's construct a seed packet. So first of all, you'll need to grab your seed packet template. This was the piece that we cut out of an old piece of chipboard. It's 3 5/8 by 5 1/8. And then you'll just grab the paper that you want to use to make the packet. So what I'm going to do is flip this over to what would be the inside of the packet. So this is the side that I want to be the outside that you'll see. So I'm going to flip this over to the inside, and then I want to set my template on the inside, and I want to center it. So I want to center it from side to side and top to bottom. You don't have to be perfect. We just want to kind of eyeball that there. And then I'm going to use my pencil here and just trace that template. And again, this is the inside, so you're not going to see any pencil lines or anything, so don't worry about it. I'm going to go over it a couple times so that I'm able to see it. Okay, and then I take my template and just set it aside for a second. Alright, so I have that nice little pattern there, and what I'm going to do is take my ruler and line up the line with my ruler, and then I'm going to make another line and just go straight all the way across the paper from top to bottom, following the trace line that I created from the template. Okay, and then I'll do that on the bottom and the top as well. I'm just going to follow that line. This kind of gives me almost like a scoring line to follow for my folds. You push down and give it enough pressure with your pencil. You don't have to push too hard, but if you give it a little bit of pressure, that's going to give you sort of almost a scoring line to be able to fold. So now what I'm going to do is fold following these lines. So first of all, I'll fold my sides in. Okay, and I'm going to fold right there, get nice and crisp folds. So those are my two sides, and I'll open that back up and fold my top and bottom lines. Okay. All right, so I have top, bottom, and both of my sides. So now what I want to do is flip this over to the side that I'm going to see, and I want to use my Distress ink, and I just want to ink those edges that we just folded. So I'm going to fold each one and just rub some ink on the fold. So I'll do both of my sides. And then I'll do the top. And the bottom. Okay, so now when I open it up, I should have a nice view of this template right here. So this is the inside of my template. And this gives me a great guide to do my cutting. Without drawing with a pencil and having a pencil line, now I just have this really nice blended Distress ink line. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to cut this into the right shape. So I have these great lines to follow from my ink, and what you're going to do is cut on the inside of the fold. So on these flaps here, you want to cut on the inside of the line. So I'm just going to cut as close to the line as I can cut, but again on the inside of it, just to the corner. Okay, again I'm on the inside of the line, cut just to the corner. So I'll do that on both sides. Inside of the line, just to the corner. So you'll do that on all four of your long lines there. Okay, so I have these little pieces like this. Now what I'm going to do is cut the top and the bottom, just two little angle cuts, and I'm going to cut on the edge here, so add a little bit of an angle just to the corner, just to meet those long cuts we made. Cut that on the other side. So I have these two angle cuts. Just removed these little pieces right here. So I'm going to turn this over and do the same thing here. Two little angle cuts. And there we go. And there is our seed packet box, the flat version. Now what we're going to do is adhere this all together. So I'm going to take my adhesive, put it on the outside line here. Hold that down. And then I want to adhere my bottom flap closed. So that's my bottom flap there. And then you obviously want to leave your top flap open so that you can put things in there. But you've got that flap that you can close just like that. I can want to go through and ink this edge here, get rid of that white line. Alright, and there is your seed packet, the body of it. And then you can just take your little, I have this little decorative piece from the French country, little labels. We'll put that right on the cover there. And then I have this little tag piece, and I can clip that to the side here. And then I can label what's inside of here. I found this great big box of wildflower seeds at the dollar store, so you get this huge box for just $1. And we can scoop some of these seeds in here. There we go. We can write wildflowers right on there and seal that shut. And there you go.